World Chess Champion Ding Liren with us. Thank you so much for your time. Ding, your journey to the World Championship title was very eventful. You entered the candidates at the last moment, you finished second, but nevertheless, you had a chance to play this match. Then you were behind the scoreboard 3 times. Do you believe in destiny?
You mean everything determined? I haven't think about this question seriously. I know Grishuk once said something like, there's no way to change the character or something like this. Well, it's very hard to say, yeah.
Right. Have you looked up the news today, because your photo has appeared on CNN, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Yahoo News, and of course all Chinese media. How do you feel about this?
Well, actually I didn't follow any news today. My feeling of becoming world champion, of course, actually, it's quite a mixed feeling, yeah. First, it's of course very proud to become the world champion. But secondly, it means I have to devote more into chess, spend more time, yeah.
Right. Can we talk a little bit about how you studied chess at the first place? You were 4 years old only when you started to play chess. Who was your coach, and what's your first memory about chess?
Well, it was very, very long ago. It was when I was at 4. I heard that my mother sent me to the I forgot if it's a local chess club, not chess club, local chess association, to study chess. And yeah, I made a big improvement at that time. Yeah, I can recall 4 coaches at that time. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in the top floor of the building, the training room, and you know, every weekend and the Wednesday night, I spend a lot of time there.
What was the moment when you realized that you could become one of the best chess players in the world?
To become one of the best, or to become one world champion?
No, one of the best chess players.
Well, at one moment, several years earlier, you know, some chess fans on the internet, they said, well, sometime I can play like with a rating of 3,000. Yeah, at that time I think, well, my ceiling is quite high. I can play, sometimes I can play like engine. Yeah, at that time I started dream of very higher.
Right. Think, was there any moment during your chess career when you thought about giving up chess?
Yeah, there are some times. Just before this match, I also thought about if I lose the match, I may quit the chess after this year. I may just retire totally from chess. But but things went differently, the other direction. You know, the life is so so strange. There are 2 different ways, and in the end, it was all decided in the last minutes.
Ding, what was the best piece of advice before the match you got, perhaps from coach, maybe family member, maybe from your friend? Because at the press conferences very often you mentioned about your friends.
Yeah, I mentioned many times about my friends. One of my friends said to think the things from the positive side. I think that's the best advice for me during this tournament.
Right. What do you want to say about water? To have more water?
It was my advice to drink more water while you feel nervous.
What was the lowest point of the match for you?
Well, I guess it was during the 7th and 8th games. The 7th game I spoiled an advantage with black pieces in time trouble. Also in 8 games, at one point I was nearly winning. I know I'm winning. I know he made a blunder by take my knight with bishop. Yes. I know I was winning, but at that point suddenly my motivation dropped. I'm not that eager to win, I can feel. I said maybe I was satisfied with the lose. It means that's so. If you're looking back from the whole tournament, I can say this is a lower point with my spirit. Yeah.
You said that becoming a world champion was not that important for you. How did you find the motivation for such demanding challenge? And as you mentioned that at some point during the match, you sort of lost the motivation.
Yeah, the motivation they given me by my friends, also Richard Rapport. He's there. He gave me many inspirations in the opening. Sometimes I thought, well, chess, there are so many openings have been analyzed, have been used, so it's quite boring to just follow the computer lines. I want to play something new, but I don't have this kind of creativity. So that's why I thought Rich Rapport is a very good player, to work with, because he has such interesting ideas all over the openings. Yeah, because maybe he thinks differently than me. He has kind of the artist characters, not like me. I think maybe sometimes I think like a philosopher. And yeah, I think our cooperation at least are quite happy. Yeah. Even sometimes I played worse. I didn't play so well in the opening he provided to me. You can see in the second one, and also the idea, very powerful idea, cannonball idea. Rook A2, I didn't throw the win. I missed the win, but when analyze it, when training the lines, we really enjoyed the games, the training method.
Right. At one of the first press conferences, you mentioned that you enjoy very much to listen music with Richard, and you specifically mentioned this rock 18. Can you tell us if there is one song that you were listening during the match, which was very, very touchy for you?
Well, the touchiest is Blowing in the Wind. You know the story about a teenager to become a man. Maybe it's part of the reason I like this music, but also like as the name of the song, the answer is Blowing in the Wind.
Let's talk a little bit about your interest. You're a person who likes art. Do you have your favorite book, or maybe books that you love to read?
Well, I can say I like many things because I think I'm very good at learning. Also, I'm that's why sometimes I think myself as still a student, still want to try something new, to learn something new in chess. For the hobby, book and movies, it's very hard to suggest one from many books I liked. Although now I didn't read novels too much. Before I liked reading novels, but I think novels and playing chess, there are something in contracts. Yeah. One, you need to put many feelings, emotions, but play chess you need to think logically and reasonably.
I think one of the key moments in the match was when you played the rook to g6 in last and the decisive game. You denied the triple repetition and you continued fight. What was the thoughts that was going through your mind at that moment?
Well, the thought was basically chess-based. I thought because here when he first checked on e4, I go king g8 since I want to repeat one times to gain some time, and he checked here. Here I also considered king g8 to bring the rook to f7, but after that I said why not bring the rook to g6, because here the king is more safer on h7. Also the rook is not attacked by the pawn immediately. After h4 I can play a4. After queen f5 I can go queen g4 to exchange. So I will just choose between these two moves. It's not about some psychological decision, it's only based on the current position.
Right. And what are the other decisive moments in the match that you can share with us?
I think my thinking was irrational. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking about. I just stuck in time trouble. I waste a lot of times. Yeah.
If I may ask you, have you watched the video of that moment? Have you watched this commentary that everybody was telling, play, Ding, play, you have to make a move now? Have you watched that video?
I remember I might watched. I remember somebody said yes, I have to make a move to play. Yeah, but at the point I didn't feel the importance to play the moves. Maybe at that point I didn't have this kind of winning or lose, this feeling of winning and lose. I'm so focused on the game, and after the game I said to my friends, at that point I just tried to find the best move in the position, somehow forgot the situation of the clock. Maybe that's the reason I stuck. I was decided between some moves and didn't make the one.
Do you realize how exciting is this match for the chess fans? Millions of people were following the match. Do you have something to tell them?
Yeah, I did what I did. Well, before the tournament, I said to Richard, I said something like, well, I'd like to play something new and wait the good things happens. Then I'm right at that point. Actually, I play something new, and in the end, the good things really happens.
Let's talk a little bit about the last moment. After winning the last game, it was a very emotional moment for you. You took some moment to go to your rest lounge. All of us want to know what was the thoughts in your head at that moment. What was your feeling?
Well, actually, I cried in the my restroom. I cannot control my emotion at that point. And I know myself. Just before tournament, I have told somebody that if I win, I will cry. Well, it's first the difficulties of myself to overcome so much difficulties. Well, that's just basically what I thought during after the resignation.
Right. And Ding, would you say that this was the happiest moment in your life?
No, maybe not the happy, but it's quite a relief. I remember when a movie of Woody Allen, he said something like, it's not enough to say I love you. He says something like I love you. So happy is a word like love. Maybe cannot fully describe my feeling at that point. It's more than happy. It's from the higher sense. I don't know what can be done.
Would you prefer to defend your world champion title against Magnus Carlsen, or maybe some youngsters like Firuza, Abdusattorov, Gukesh?
Yeah, I'm willing to take any challenge now.
Thank you so much for your time, for your answers.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Yeah, I think I did a good job. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You did a good job. Thank you so much.